स्वाध्याय टीवी डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी।
Namaste dear students, I Dr. Himanshu Patel welcome you from the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University. We are in lecture series on mobile application development in Android. In last session we have learned how to define printable drawables as XML resource file, how to use shape drawable class to display various types of shapes using image view programmatically, and how to provide border color, fill color and style to shape. In today's session, we will discuss how to apply animation to your user interface element. Today's topic is how to add animation to your user interface and how to perform basic animations through XML animation resource. So, today we learn about XML resource for defining animation. You can also create animation using code, but in today's session we are confine our study to XML animation only. Now, why we need animation? Animations is especially useful when the screen changes state, such as when content loads or new action become available. Animation can also add a polished look to your application, which gives your application a higher quality feel. That means, you can create professional look and feel for your application using animation. So, that is why we must know how to create animation, how to define animation first. So, animation can be performed through either XML or Android code, but we will learn about define animation inside XML code only. There are different types of animation you can create. So, some of the example of animation includes fade in, fade out, rotation, translation, zoom in, zoom out, blink, composite, which means multiple animations simultaneously applied to user interface element, and sequential. That means, you can apply any combination of these animations one by one or one after another. What are the steps to create animation? Creating animation is very simple. All it needs is creating necessary files and write small piece of code. Once you define animation inside XML file, it is very easy to load these animation using very small code. So, basically there are 4 steps include, one of them is optional. So, first we create XML that defines the actual animation, then second step is we load these animation, third step we set the animation listener. This step is optional, because if you want to listen to animation event like start, end and repeat, then and then you require these implementing animation listener, otherwise these steps is completely optional. And finally, we start the animation by calling method of user interface element. So, these are the basic steps required to create animation. Inside XML, we define certain attributes that you must know, because they are very important animation attributes. So, we discuss these attributes right now. First is the Android duration. Inside XML animation, we write down these attribute to specify duration of animation in which the animation should complete. So, total duration of animation is specified by these attributes. Then comes Android colon start offset. These attributes specify waiting time before an animation starts. Suppose I want to start animation after 3 seconds, then I can use this Android start offset attribute. It is mainly used to perform multiple animation in sequential manner. Suppose you want to wait before second animation applied after first one, then you can specify this start offset. Then there are predefined interpolator available. So, you can use to specify the rate of change in animation. We will use some of them in our example. Android colon fill after. Now, this defines whether to apply the animation transformation after the animation completes or not. If it sets to false, the element changes to its previous state after the animation, and if it is set to true, the last position of user interface element remains same. Then comes Android : repeat mode. Android : repeat mode is useful when you want your animation to repeat, and these Android : repeat count actually defines the number of repetition on animation. If you set this value to infinite, then animation repeats infinite times or never stops. Today we will learn one practical application. We write Android application to define various animation as XML resource, create spinner to display name of animation created, and finally we apply selected animation on image. So, let us start. Now, I have already created one application to demonstrate. You can create new application. First, we understand the user interface. So, on screen you can see, if you follow mouse pointer, you will see there is one text view which displays select animation. Then there is a spinner which displays different types of animation name, and when you select particular name from this spinner, that animation is applied on the image view that displays Android logo. So, this is all about our interface. First is a text view, another is spinner with ID spinner, and last is the image view with ID image view. Now, remember, we define our animation inside this resource folder, animation folder. So, if there is no animation folder available, you can create this folder by right clicking on this resource folder, right click and then new directory. So, once you create this directory and give it name ANIM, that is animation, you can create this folder. Now, inside this we define different types of animation. So, how to create this file? You have to just right click on this folder and then you have to select new animation resource file and one blank file will be created. So, this is how all these animation resource files are created, and we write down code inside these different types of file to perform different types of animation. Now, remember, in image view I have set source property. Here you can see background is a set which is available in drawable folder as a Android logo.png file. So, here I have already loaded our Android logo from drawable folder. So, image is set at design time only. Next is our Java file. So, our activity name is animation activity, and inside animation activity we have load particular animation in this image view when particular name from spinner is selected. So, we will learn how to do that, but before that we will learn these different types of animation that I have already write down. So, first we look at fade in effect or fade in animation. Here on screen you can see we have set attribute which is already created by our file. Now, here I add one attribute Android feel after. We have already discussed this feel after. Now, fade in is nothing but you have to set alpha from 0 to 1. So, here Android duration specifies that this fade in takes 1 second and fade in effect can be given by from alpha set to 0 and to alpha set to 1, and our interpolator is accelerate interpolator. These are the predefined interpolator. So, we will use different types of interpolator depending on animation that we want to create. So, this is how you can define fade in animation. Now, fade out animation is exactly opposite of these. You have to set from alpha to 1 and 2 alpha to 0. So, how to do this? So, here is a fade out file. You can see from alpha is 1 and 2 alpha is 0. Next is a blink animation. Now, blink animation can be done by fade in or fade out in repetitive manner. So, here I set from alpha 0 to alpha 1, interpolator I have set as a accelerate interpolator, duration is in millisecond. So, it means 0.6 second, and here repeat mode is reverse and repeat count is infinite. So, this blink continues forever. So, this is how we can achieve blink effect. Now, next is a bouncing effect. So, here we use scale attribute, and inside scale attribute we specify duration and we set from x scale as a 1 and from y scale as a 0 and 2 scale as a 1 and 2y scale as a 1. So, what will happen is y scale is changed from 0 to 1. So, how it will look like we will see in code, but this is how you can apply bouncing animation. Then comes rotation. So, here is a rotation. For rotation we can use rotate attribute, and you can rotate your object from 0 to 360 degree. So, 0 to 360 degree is a full swing. So, I specify from degree as a 0, 2 degree as a 360. Now, these pivot x and pivot y specify our reference point. In our case, it is a center of our image view. So, it is a set to 50%, which means center of the image view. Now, duration is a 600, repeat mode is restart and repeat count is infinite. So, the object is continuously rotated from 0 to 360 degree with respect to center point of image view. And remember, here I use interpolator as a Android cycle interpolator. For rotation generally we use cycle interpolator. So, this is how you can achieve rotation or rotate. Next is a translation. Translation means moving object from one place to another. So, here I use translate tag to specify translation. So, here x from x is 0 and 2x is a 75%. So, and duration is 800 in millisecond. So, our object will move from 0 to 75% of its width. Next is a zoom in. So, here I use scale and duration is 1 second. Now, these from scale x scale and from y scale specifies where to start. So, I specify 1, which means original size, and 2 scale is a 3, it means its size 3 times at the end of animation, and these pivot x and pivot y again specifies center of image view. So, our object is zoomed to original size to 3 times larger with respect to center of our image view. Now, zoom out is exactly opposite of zoom in. So, here from scale is larger and 2 scale is smaller, which means our object is reduced to half of its size with respect to center and duration is 1 second. So, this is how we can achieve zoom in and zoom out effect. Now, you can also use these one or more animation in sequential manner or composite manner. So, how to do that? Let us look at it. Sequential animation. So, here on screen you can see the very first is a translation, then again translation, third is also translation, fourth is also translation, and finally we rotate these object as I explained earlier. Now, what you have to remember is here we specify duration. So, duration for first animation is 800 millisecond and its start offset is 300. So, these start offset means our animation starts after 300 millisecond and runs for 800 millisecond. So, start of offset for next animation is 1100, that is total 1100 millisecond second animation has to wait and its duration is 800. So, our total duration up to second animation is 1900. So, start offset for third animation is 1900 and its duration is 800. So, for next animation our start offset is 1900 plus 800. So, it is a 2700 and so on. Here our duration is 800. So, 2700 plus 800 means 3500. So, here I specify start offset. So, after finishing all previous animation it will wait for 300 millisecond and then rotation runs for 1 second. So, this is how you can apply animation one after another. Only you have to do is specify start offset, which is a cumulative duration for all previous animation. Now, suppose you want to apply multiple animation at a time, then you can use composite animation. So, here first is a scale animation, that means zoom in animation, and next is a rotation animation and duration of first animation is 4 second and duration of second animation is a half second, and here we do not specify start offset. So, immediately after scale rotation will immediately starts. So, we can have mix effect of scale and rotation for our object. So, this kind of animation is called composite animation. We have not specified start offset. So, both animation will start simultaneously and resulting effect will be displayed on screen. Now, next part is how to load this animation for our image view. So, we go to animation activity.java file. Here we starts from this image view. Now, these image view represent our image view at design time. Then you have to create one animation object to load animation. Then you have to create one spinner which represent spinner at design time, and finally, we specify array of string that represent animation name. So, first name is blink, second is bouncing, then fade in, fade out, rotation, translation, zoom in, zoom out, sequential and composite. So, it just displays name of these animation that we want to apply to our image view. So, as usual we write down code inside on create. So, these two lines will get references of our image view and spinner inside IV and spinner. So, inside IV we take reference of image view at design time, and inside spinner we take reference of spinner at design time. Next line specifies how to display name of animation inside spinner. So, for that we have used set adapter method, and inside set adapter we create instance of array adapter, and we specify 3 arguments. First is a context, second is a layout, and last is a array of string from where we want to fetch name inside spinner as a item. So, these line will actually fetch these animation array inside spinner. We here apply set on item selected listener, because we want to perform animation when user select one of the item from animation. So, here we have implement set on item selected listener, and these on item selected method position indicates item at particular position is selected. So, here I write down switch case, based on position we will apply animation. So, if you look at these array, our first animation is a blink animation. So, in case 0 I have created animation object by calling static method load animation of animation utils class. These animation utils class has a method static called load animation, and inside these you have to specify 2 argument. First is a context and second is a animation that represent XML resource. Now, this blink.xml file is available inside our animation folder. So, its ID is r.anim.blink. Likewise, you can specify any animation which is defined inside this animation folder. So, this is how we can create instance of animation that represent animation defined as a XML resource. To actually start animation, we call start animation method of user interface element. In our case, it is a image view. So, I write down iv.start animation, and inside that I specify animation object. So, it will start animation as per attributes written inside these anim.blink.xml file. So, for all other cases these lines remain same, only you need to do is just change this animation name. So, second option is a bouncing animation. So, in case 1 I just write down r.anim.bouncing, and in third case I write down r.anim.fade-in, r.anim.fade-out, and so on. So, all case code is identical, only change is the name of animation that is represented by these case. So, we write down all the cases, and now we save all this file and run this application by pressing run app or start button. So, here on screen you can see our application is started, and our first option is a blink. So, you can see our image is a continuously blinking, and option selected here is a blink. Next, I select bouncing. So, this is how bouncing effect looks like. Then fade in. So, you will see from 0 to 1 alpha is change, then fade out. Here the case is reverse, alpha is changed from 1 to 0. Then rotation, we have 360 degree rotation, and it repeats for infinite times or forever. So, this is how rotation will look like. Then comes translate. Now, these translate will move our object to 75% of its width. Then comes zoom in. So, here our object is zoom from 1 to thrice of its size. In zoom out, we reduced object size to half of its original size. So, this is called zoom out. Then we have sequential. So, this is first, second translation, third translation and finally rotation. So, this is how we apply 4 animation one by one. Next is a composite animation, where we together implement scale and rotation. So, here I am selecting composite. So, here you can see object is rotated as well as its zoom out also. So, this is how you can implement composite animation. So, today we have learned how to create animation as a XML resource and how to load these animation in user interface element. We have also discussed many types of animation such as fade in, fade out, zoom in, zoom out, blink, scale, translate, rotation, etc. So, I hope you enjoy this session. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्याय टीवी